In the early 2010s, Seattle had a masked vigilante. A man in a black and gold armored suit roamed the streets at night. He called himself Phoenix Jones.
I train for these situations. I don't just come out willy-nilly and just run on the streets.
By day, he was Benjamin Fodor, a professional MMA fighter. But by night, he transformed into a real-life superhero.
Give me another one call. Let's arrest this guy for public disclosure.
Complete with a bulletproof vest, pepper spray, and a stun baton. Throughout his active years, Phoenix Jones reported intervening in various incidents, including preventing car thefts, breaking up street fights, and assisting individuals in distress. Many considered him a hero, with others calling him a walking lawsuit in spandex. In 2011, Jones was arrested for assault after using pepper spray to break up an alleged fight. However, charges were never filed and he continued his activities. In 2020, he faced legal troubles again when he was arrested for allegedly selling MDMA to undercover officers. This arrest led to multiple drug charges and marked a significant turning point in his public image. Following his arrest, Jones has maintained a low profile, and there have been no widely reported activities or public appearances related to his superhero persona. In 1981, a quiet courtroom in Lübeck, West Germany, became the setting for one of the most shocking acts of vigilante justice. Marianne Beckmeyer had lost her 7-year-old daughter Anna to a man named Klaus Grabowski, a convicted child killer who had evaded justice more than once. This time he had lured Anna to his home, held her captive, and ultimately murdered her. When the trial began, Marianne didn't plan to speak. She did, however, smuggle a Beretta 70S pistol into the courtroom. As Grabowski sat in front of her, his back turned, Marianne pulled out the gun and unloaded the whole magazine. 6 bullets hit Grabowski, who died instantly. This particular scene is not the real footage. It's from the German movie No Time for Tears, the Beckmeyer case, but it's also pretty much what and how it happened. After the shooting, Marianne was immediately apprehended without resistance. She was convicted of manslaughter and unlawful possession of a firearm. Sentenced to 6 years, she served only 3. In the rural heartlands of northern India, a different kind of vigilante force emerged. They called themselves the Gulabi Gang. Formed in 2006 by a woman named Sampatpal Devi, the group was born out of frustration with police inaction and systemic abuse. According to multiple sources, after witnessing a man brutally beating his wife and her initial attempts to intervene being met with hostility, Sampatpal Devi returned the next day with a group of women all armed with bamboo sticks, and they collectively beat the abusive husband. This decisive action marked the inception of the Gulabi Gang, a group committed to combating domestic violence and advocating for women's rights in India. The Gulabi Gang grew fast, confronting abusive husbands, corrupt politicians, and predatory officials. They storm government offices, they stage protests, and if needed, they swing hard. As of 2014, the Gulabi Gang reported approximately 270,000 members, with some estimates placing the number closer to 400,000. However, no official updates on their current membership have been reported since. For over 2 decades, Ken Rex McElroy terrorized the town of Skidmore, Missouri. He had been charged with everything from assault and theft to harassment and attempted murder. He was indicted more than 20 times, but never spent a day in prison. Most charges never made it to court. McElroy knew how to manipulate the system. He intimidated witnesses, stalked jurors, and retaliated against anyone who spoke up. He once shot a grocer in the neck, over a minor dispute. He was finally convicted, but instead of going to prison, he was released on bond pending appeal. And once again, he returned to stalking his victim, sitting outside the men's store every day, rifle in hand, staring through the window. It was clear that the justice system couldn't stop him, and at that point, the town had seen enough. On July 10, 1981, McElroy was sitting in his truck outside a local bar. A group of townspeople gathered. Moments later, someone opened fire. McElroy was killed in his truck. Specific details about the exact number of gunshot wounds vary among sources. Reports indicate that he was struck by bullets from at least 2 different firearms. More than 30 people witnessed the shooting, but no one called an ambulance. No one identified the shooter. No one was arrested, and no one has ever confessed. To this day, the case still remains unsolved. Dark Justice was a UK-based vigilante group formed in 2014 in Newcastle. It was run by 2 men, known only by their pseudonyms, Scott and Callum. Though neither had any law enforcement background, their tactics often mirrored those used by police. The pair posed online as children, typically between the ages of 11 and 15, in order to lure and expose adults attempting to groom minors. When meeting suspects in person, they wore bulletproof vests and filmed the encounters. Their evidence was later used in court, contributing to the convictions of over 115 individuals, including high-profile offenders like Roger Lee and Barry Scott. Despite the legal gray area surrounding their work, Dark Justice became one of the most well-known online vigilante groups in the UK, operating in the shadows but leaving very real results behind. In 2021, after 7 years of anonymous work, one of the 2 members passed away. The group quietly disbanded shortly after.